Hello chess enthusiasts. Recently I posted a video showing a Soviet chess problem from the 1970s, together with my variation of it. Mates in 2 moves and 3 moves respectively. This present one is the second in the Soviet theme, but no mate in a set number of moves, merely white to play and win. What is worth noting here is that black has the material advantage of the exchange, but it matters not. What is the first move here, and how do we continue? Just take a look at it for a moment. Well, the white G-pawn is the focus of attention, for to queen this fellow ends the game at once. But how do we achieve this? Bishop G5? No. Sure, it blocks the G file, and 2 more moves and we have our queen. But black with Rook G1, and this simply doesn't work. And yet, Bishop G5 looks as though it ought to work, does it not? So, how do we get our bishop to G5 and prevent Rook G1? As the late great Dr. Alexander Alekhine used to put it, we need a coup de repos, or a Zwischenzug, or in English, as opposed to French or German, an in-between move. Can anyone see it? Look really hard and pause the video now. Okay. The move is very difficult to find. It's not an easy solution at all. You could play around with this one for hours. As a matter of fact, it took me far longer to get this one than it did the one in the other video. But I was only a boy at the time, so I was quite pleased that I solved it. Incidentally, what I didn't mention in the other video is that I missed the follow-up to that particular publication, and the follow-up would have contained the solutions, so I never actually had sight of the solutions. I had to figure these out for myself. And so you have to be particularly careful that you get it right. And I have managed to get it right. So there is an in-between move there. You need to play for time, in other words. You need to play what, on the face of it, is a pointless move. It in no way helps you, and yet it helps you to an unbelievable degree. Can you see the move? Right, well, for those of you have found the move, congratulations. And for those that haven't, commiserations. Like I say, it's not easy to see. And so I'll put everyone out of their misery now. It is in fact a bishop move. But as explained before, if you go to G5 straight away with it, then Rook G1, it really spoils everything. Because then if you play G7, it just takes the bishop. And unfortunately, it's all over. You just cannot queen that pawn. And on top of that, black would easily be able to queen this one and stop this one, no trouble at all. So none of that works, I'm afraid. So put these back. It's back to the starting lineup in this particular problem. But like I say, see, bishop h6 will be no good either, because quite simply, he could just play rook to there. And although you'd think, well, he can play g7, yeah, but he can take the pawn, can't he? he can stop it. And then he can march this pawn down. So I'm afraid that doesn't work either. So bishop h6 is no good, but it is a bishop move. So if it's not to g5 and it's not to h6, where is it? Well, bishop d2 would do no good at all because he'd simply just take it off. What about bishop to f4? Just takes it with a rook. So by process of elimination, it must be bishop e3, and that indeed is the move. I would evaluate this at 2 exclamation points at least, but it might even merit 3 exclamation points. It is so good. There was just no defense against this move. No matter what black plays here, he loses. For instance, if he moves the king, you just advance the pawn. And this rook now cannot go to g1 because the bishop would take. And if the king were to take the bishop, you queen the pawn. Neat, isn't it? So, what does black do here? I mean, it's pointless pushing either of these pawns. That's not going to achieve anything, and the king moves out. So it must be a rook move. Now, he can't go to g1. If he goes here, thinking that he can get down here, well, you can stymie him with g7. And he's still beaten because he can't come back here and he can't go into the corner. These Soviets were pretty good at devising problems. Hats off to them. So white has just moved bishop e3. So the only move, really, yes, I forgot to mention, just before we carry on, if he had played bishop to g5, clearly rook g1 is the answer because it stops it. But I forgot to mention, maybe some of you are wondering what happens if he takes it. Well, that would be a blunder because he would just play g7 and then the rook can't go down and stop it. So although rook g1 saves the game and wins it for black, f takes g would be a blunder and then white would steal it. However, we can bank on black finding rook g1, so bishop g5 is definitely out. But just moving back to the solution to this for a moment, bishop e3. Black has to play rook f3 here. Now, why does he want to play rook f3? What good is that? We know that rook g1 is out, but he wants to get onto this line. Now, he can't play rook f2 because the bishop would take it. He can't play rook f4 for the same reasons. What happens if he goes here? Well, unfortunately, white just plays here, and then he can't put the rook onto the g line because the bishop is covering it. So that's no good. That's why he has to play rook f3. That is the only possibility. He's eyeing over this square here. So what do we do here? The bishop is attacked. If black can take this bishop, then white is beaten. Now, pause the video again and see if you can find the next move. We've played bishop e3 for white and rook f3 for black. White's second move. This next move is astonishing. But it's not really unexpected because I've already been through it quite a bit. Do you have it? Okay, the answer is, in fact, you now go to g5. Again, just remembering, it's useless taking it because he just plays g7 and the pawn can't be stopped from queening. So he cannot touch that bishop. So what does he do? You're all probably saying out there, oh, well, yes, we can go to g3, can't we? You can. Now, can anyone out there, please tell me why rook g3 is not good enough? Yes. For all you good chess players, bishop h4. And guess what? The rook is pinned against the king. And it's powerless. And that's the end of this game, for the simple reason that white will take the rook next and then queen his pawn. Black is powerless to halt the march of the g-pawn to the queening square on g8. He can do nothing about it. But just to demonstrate it, he can't move the rook. What else can he do? Okay, he can try and save the rook. Takes g7, and g8's the next move, and this game is over. Isn't that a really neat problem? In fact, all those years ago when I solved it, I was amazed that I was able to do it. And I didn't need to see the solution. I think anyone would agree with me that in many ways it's better not to be able to see it. Because if you're able to convince yourself that you have the answer, that's probably even better than looking it up. Sure, it's nice to look things up and be proven right, but I don't think we need to on this one. That is a great problem, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yet again, it's a memory from a long time ago, and I'm very pleased to bring it to you. And if I have anything else that I come across, I'll certainly let you know. And enjoy your chess playing, and goodbye for now.